Hey, how's it going? Mr. Bill here today, and welcome to part 2 of the Skrillex bass sound reproduction. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm recreating Skrillex's remix of this Benny Benassi cinema track, and in tutorial 1 we learnt how to create the first Dow Dow sound, which sounds like this, and with the beat it sounds like this, and Skrillex's version sounds like this. So it's not really the same. I'm working in headphones, so it's hard to get stuff sounding the same anyway, but yeah, it's getting there, and at the end when we finish mixing it we'll try and get everything as close as possible, which should be in tutorial part 5. So anyway, part 2, what we're creating here is this next wobbly bass line, which sounds like this. So it's big and it's dirty and gritty. And I've got one version of Massive here, but I'm not going to touch that just yet. First I'm going to duplicate this Dow Dow channel, and I'm going to call it Wow Wow. And then what I'm going to do is just create a MIDI clip for the length of that second bass line. So that's about it. And then for that whole clip, I just want a big F sharp playing like so. We'll just have a listen to that. So that's good. And then what I want to do is go into Zebra 2, and if we have a look at the sync rate, the rate's turned down a little bit. So if we double click on that to reset that to default, it'll be swinging at 8th notes, which should be what we want. It should sound like this, which is good. And if I join this clip, if we have a look at this clip, see it's got a little tear in the middle, or I don't know what you call that, it's like perforated. So if we click on that and we press Command J, it becomes one clip with 2 notes rather than us like two parts of clips with 2 notes. So I just want to create one big note here because I don't want to get a second lot of attack happening in the middle there. And now what I want to do is automate these parameters a little bit, so we can get it sounding a bit more lively. It doesn't sound so static, and it sounds a bit more vocal-esque. Like so, see how that sounds. So it sounds pretty decent. I'll turn it down a little bit. And that's pretty much all we're going to do with that. Now I'm going to start playing with Massive. So I'll drop this F sharp MIDI clip into the Massive channel. But I'll rename Wow 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 8, Wow Wow 1/8, so we know it's 8th notes. And I'll call this Wow Wow Scream 8, because it's going to be kind of really teary and screamy. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create 3 oscillators. Well, they're already created. I'm going to turn the amplitude up of all of them, and I'm going to choose my waveforms on the first oscillator to be square saw 1, waveform on the second oscillator will be sine square, and the waveform on the third oscillator will be bender. And most people use this modern talking one up here, but I messed around with it and this one sounded the best to me, so I'll just use this, and I'm going to turn it on to formant instead of spectrum. And I'm going to turn the pitch of the first 2 oscillators down 24 semitones, like so. So that's what we've got. The envelope needs to be opened right up. And then we need to mess with some of the wavetable positions. So on the first one I'll move it back a little bit. On the second one I'll move it up a little bit. And on this last bender one, I'll have it almost halfway around there somewhere. So that's sounding pretty full, and much like the Skrillex one, except without the automation, of course, or the modulation, I should say. So what I want to do is LFO this. So I'll right click here and go to my modulations and go modulation 5 and turn that up. Then if we go to the LFO, I want to turn that on to sync, and I want to sync it to a ratio of 1 to 8, so it's 8th notes. So that's what we want. So that sounds pretty cool. And then with the filter, I want to have it on a scream filter, and I want to turn the cutoff to about halfway, roughly around there, and I want to turn the scream up to around there, and we'll turn the resonance up 100%. So you get something like that, and then I want to modulate the cutoff with the LFO and turn the intensity of that up. And now I'm just going to move it around until it sounds in tune. So we're looking for a na. So about there we can hear that really high harmonic. So it's close, I guess. And now we want to EQ after this. So I'll just put an EQ after it, and we'll go 191 Hertz or around 190 Hertz. Let's get rid of these poles. And I'll use a low shelf, and I'll boost the bass by about 4 dB, roughly. Again, I'm just pushing these equalizers hard, and I'll boost around 2K as well. It's around maybe almost close to 3K. I'll boost that by about 3 dB. And I'll raise the Q of that a bit. So that's what we get. And if we have a listen to these together now, we can turn this wow scream thing down. So again, it doesn't really sound like what it should, but in the end when we mix it we can play with it a bit more to get it all sounding correct. And that's going to have a lot to do with sending everything to parallel compression, I think. But for the time being that sounds alright. So yeah, cheers for watching. That's the end of part 2. Hopefully you learned a little bit about how to create bass lines, and in part 3 I'm going to create this growl sounds, so these sounds here. I'm going to attempt to create those, so stick around for part 3. Cheers. Check out MrBillsTunes.com.